So it is May 16th, day 2 of our trip, and we are in Richmond, Virginia at our friend Heather's house. We stayed with her and her partner and their son Evan.
Ben and Jonathan spent a great deal of the morning unpacking, repacking, working on their bikes, and using Heather's internet. Ben put on some ankle braces that he had brought with him. At around 11 a.m., they began day 2 of their trip, cycling through suburban Richmond. They stopped for lunch in a shopping center and ate at a Mexican restaurant. Later, Ben remarked that Mexican food is good biking food. It sticks with you. At the Radio Shack next door, Ben convinced Jonathan to buy a cell phone car charger to use with a dynamo bike generator that Ben had brought along. A couple of weeks later in the trip, after a few failed attempts by Ben at making it work, Jonathan would offload the charger to his sweetheart in Berea, Kentucky. Leaving Richmond, Ben and Jonathan noticed a couple of African-American men fishing at a stream. Ben said sarcastically, "It's good to see black people who know their place." Of course, he really meant that it was good to see black people who were not apprehensive about activities that might be seen as necessities of the poor. Ben's untasteful joke was getting at an unfortunate effect of our consumer economy, which has particularly affected African Americans in their struggle to gain status and power, which they have so long been denied in our country. Why fish when you have the money to buy food? Why ride a bicycle when you can afford to drive a car? Jonathan wrote in his journal, "For some reason I find it really hopeful to see people of color living in rural areas. It is like I forget and think that only white folks live out here. I end up romanticizing it though, thinking that rural white folks and rural black folks are somehow closer. But of course this is not really true." The next day, Jonathan would write, "Today Ben and I stopped at a gas station. The white woman who fixed our sandwiches was really friendly carrying on with us. We told her what road we were taking and she said, 'Oh, there's a big funeral up there today. Blacks. They're nice people.'" Ever since Richmond, Ben and Jonathan have deviated from the Transamerica route, with plans to pick it back up around Wytheville, Virginia. They make their own route through eastern Virginia, much of the time following scenic highways that connect Civil War battlefields.
So we're nearing the end of our second day of biking. We're still in Virginia. And we decided to stop and watch this reenactment of the Lee's Retreat. So right now we're at the Hillsman House. And this is where the Union forces, who in this reenactment are represented by the black cows. This is where they assembled along the ridge over there, while Confederate troops prepared on the opposite slope. And the Confederate troops are represented by the white cows, which you don't see any of now because they're assembling on the opposite slope. Federal forces then crossed Little Sailor's Creek for a fierce battle which compelled many Southerners, and that means Confederate troops, to surrender. So those are the white cows. The house served as a hospital for both armies. They shared it.
Did they fight in the hospital?
It doesn't say. I also take issue with that. That it says that the Southerners, that it used Southerners as interchangeably with Confederate troops.
Yeah, it's a little non-PC.
Yeah. Okay.
Because a lot of Southerners fought on both sides, right?
Yeah, or just didn't fight at all, trying to avoid the whole ding-dang thing.
Cowards.
Cowards. Oh, wow. Here, this is good too.
Say something about the cows when you do this.
Okay, so this is the hospital scene reenactment.
Hey, when you say it, substitute cows, black cows and white cows for instead of saying soldiers.
Am I ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a hospital scene reenactment, I think. As night begins to fall here on April 6th, 1865, the hard-fought battles of Little Sailor's Creek and the crossroads near the Marshall Farm draw to a close. Brown cow surgeons were...
Okay, we gotta retake that. Need some water? We're still rolling.
Okay. As the night begins to fall here on April 6th, 1865, the hard-fought battles of Little Sailor's Creek and the crossroads near Marshall Farm draw to a close. Brown cow surgeons work...
Come on, we'll cut there. Start with brown cow surgeons. Come on, get up. Don't do that. We can't take a shower tonight. We're camping in the woods. What if you pee in your pants on camera?
Going to... Okay. I don't think I can do this. Okay.
Well, you want to go scare the cows first and then we'll come back when you're more serious. When you can read more seriously.
Get some composure.
What's wrong?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, keep doing it. Good, you got one running. Do it some more. Jump around.
Here's the farmer's gonna come out and yell it.
There's no farmer. Monkeys are cows' natural enemy in the wild. Big gorillas.
Hey, come listen to me.
I think I got all I can get from these cats.
Brown cow surgeons work by the little natural light that's still available. They are inside the main doorways, trying to save as many of the wounded as possible from both the white cow and brown cow armies. Hospital stewards prepare men for surgery and assist with the gruesome task of amputating limbs, bandaging wounds, and trying to comfort the wounded. The home will be used as the 6th Corps Field Hospital. The family will experience the grim realities of war as the floor in the entry hall becomes soaked with blood and they hear the cries of the wounded and dying above.
Is that corpses and dead body?
Yeah. Once surgeries are complete, the amputated limbs will be thrown outside and men are either carried outdoors to recover or placed in one of the house's 4 rooms. Before evacuating Hillsman's home, the brown cows will bury their own dead temporarily on the farm until removed to Poplar Grove National Cemetery in Petersburg, Virginia. The white cow dead will be left unburied. For these men, there will be no glory in war. The former slaves of this plantation or whatever buried the Confederate soldiers in unmarked graves on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.